just looking at some footage from today in Bondi.
Beautiful Bondi.
In beautiful Bondi, scene of Bondi Rescue,
Yes, one of the most beautiful beaches probably in the world.
according to us.
Yeah.
And today there was an organised event called a Paddle Out for Palestine. I don't know who the paddlers were. Maybe they were Palestinian, maybe they were Palestinian Australians, maybe they were socialist left, who knows. Either way, they're doing their little bit for a cause they believe in. Good on them, good luck to them. The members of the Sydney Jewish community thought, well, we're going to counter-protest. And this footage is what unfolded.
This is going to be interesting. And it's important to mention that these two groups very rarely meet.
Really?
Well, how many times have you seen any counter-protests for the pro-Palestinian marches?
That's a good point.
This is like a rare meeting of the opposing sides.
Well, when we say opposing sides, like these paddle out for Palestine guys, they don't strike me as being the regular weekly protest, Antifa rat types or Ayatollah Khomeini types.
Well, it's definitely a different approach to protesting. Well, let's see. Let's see who's there.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right, here we go.
And they just assaulted me. You going to do anything about that?
We can, but you need to walk
I
away.
won't go. Arrest them. Just assaulted me. Put his hands on me. I can go.
Who the black guy
I
was
didn't say
something.
you saw
So this fellow, who's very upset, I'm suggesting he's a counter-protester, as in
Yeah,
on the Israeli side.
Israeli side.
Okay.
And something he's either been hit with an object or something's happened. He's alleging assault.
Yes.
And as usual, the cops are kind of like, okay, sure, mate, whatever, just move away.
Too hard to deal with.
They're allowed to be here. You're allowed to be here. They're disturbing our peace. No. At the moment, they understand.
Looks like two-tier
I'll
policing.
tell you what upsets me. There's Sydney, Bondi Beach, an iconic Australian place, and there's foreign flags flying on it.
And we've got the Middle East conflict right slap bang in the middle of it. As we said, while some poor bloke with his softie, might be the first time he's ever surfed in his life, and he's got to navigate through a Palestinian protest to get out to the water.
Jesus Christ.
So, all right.
Something I'm worrying about. That.
Two-tier policing, mate. Why don't you police that?
Yeah, why are you policing me? They're being the physical ones. They come here to... We have to one time at a time, yeah? We've got to come here to provide.
Is this what you did at the Opera House?
Get that stuff off.
Tensions are running deep up in Sydney. They've got a bit of a history. This life.
What? I just don't like foreign flags on fucking an Australian iconic location.
Well, to be fair, there's only probably 3 or 4 of them at least. But yeah, I think it always strikes me as very odd to see that flag being flown in Australia, full stop.
Well, as a means of sort of protest and, identity, whatnot.
Yeah, I sort of object to it being flown at all, to be honest, but that's just me.
That flag or any other flag?
Well, I mean, that's the only flag I ever see. You don't see Canadian flags or American flags or, Sudanese flag. I don't see any flag. I don't see that flag every time I turn on the TV.
Well, that's a good point. Most other nations don't have the balls to fly their flag because it's impolite.
Yeah.
I guess the Palestinians are saying we're a particular special case because we're so oppressed.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of their flags as well. They're like us. They've got more than one flag.
Is that right?
Well, they've got their Hamas flag.
Well, that's
the one they fight under. This one's the one they bring out when they want to sort of talk about peace.
But you can be pro-Palestine and not and be anti-Hamas, no?
You can, but I think it's difficult.
Well, these folks aren't flying the Hamas flag.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're flying. If they flew the Hamas flag, they'd be illegal. So they fly that flag.
Okay, so you think that's the only reason they're not flying Hamas flag?
Well, I just think that's the flag that they fly because then they can't be branded terrorists.
Okay.
Anyway, that's just.
I think you're being tough.
Just a thought. I know I'm being harsh on them.
Back to the camera.
It's because of 2 years of
Good on you, mate. Australian flag on Father's Day. Hey, I'm good. Australian flag. Okay, what's Australian, man? What's Australian?
On the Palestinian side, we've got the Palestinian flag, so that's, to be expected. On the Jewish Australian side, there's a lot of Australian flags.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if that's just regular Aussies coming out to support. I really don't know what the point of this protest is, to be honest. Because we know that both sides are. Neither of them are right. It's not like
That's incorrect.
It's not a black and white situation.
It's awful. It's so awful.
You kind of
The whole
can't really
thing.
support either side, successfully. And because it's a Middle Eastern conflict, and we've got a load of, as I've said to you, but I'll just express my view, we've got a lot of domestic problems that aren't being addressed. So focusing on a Middle Eastern problem that really we can't have any impact on seems like a lot of waste of energy.
Well, but these people are entitled to express their energy as they see fit, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Generally speaking,
Yeah.
I have a real problem when you go to an icon of Australia, a beach, and decide to have your protest there.
It's a very for a paddle out, they're not really doing much paddling. They tend to.
Well, the paddle out's probably over in the water. It's got nothing to do with these clowns.
So this is just like another subset of the protest.
Well, you can imagine.
They hijacked the paddle out, maybe.
Well, I can imagine what happened is a couple of hippie surfers from that area said, "Let's do a paddle out for Palestine." Okay, go ahead. Local Israeli Jewish Australians or Israeli Australians or whoever said, "You know what? We're gonna answer it with our own protest." Then a bunch of non-paddlers said, "All right, we're going to answer the answer," and then the whole thing fucking escalates. And then you've got Middle East blood feuds occurring at Bondi Beach.
And that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Like, it's peaceful protest isn't about heckling and trying to provoke one another to actually physically confront each other. It's about, and the police should be keeping them further apart than that. This is getting into tears, mate. I can just see it.
But the point is that when you've got police required to separate two groups of people in a location like this, like we went to Federation Square, Flinders Street last week. There were hundreds of cops, thousands of protesters. The thing was very formal, very non-violent in the end, but very tense. There was always the potential of problems, and the cops kept everybody well apart. To have that sort of situation occurring at Bondi Beach, beyond the pale.
Here's a question I have for you. We have the right to peaceful protest.
Great.
Okay, everyone has that.
Yep.
So one group organises a protest,
Yep.
and as soon as they do that, an opposing group organises a protest in exactly the same place at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
And
what a coincidence.
you know that when those two groups collide, there's going to be violence because there's agitators on. There's people that's their thing. They're not there. They don't give a shit about Palestine. They just want to punch on.
Well,
and
or they either or they do
that's-
or they don't.
I don't think the Antifa guys really got a vested interest, but they always seem to be there.
Yeah,
But
they're-
what I'm saying is, wouldn't it be logical to say, okay, we've got the right to protest. On this day, we're going to let you guys protest. Nobody else, anyone else who turns up, we're not going to let you protest. We're going to disperse you with a section, whatever. And the next day, we're going to let the pro-Palestinian people come along, and anyone who's opposed to them, I'm sorry, you're not welcome. You'll be dispersed. And then they have that. Everyone gets to protest, but we don't have this war erupting in our country.
Trouble is to not let any particular group, to not let them protest on any given day in any given location. You need cops to enforce that prohibition.
It's not hard, man. They can keep, it's a bit easier than keeping them separated. I just think, this is me just trying to simplify the problem and say that the problem is violence, right? No one's got a problem with the protesting.
No, I do have a problem with them protesting at Bondi Beach.
Okay.
I don't think it's the right venue. Like if some cunt came down here and protested where I live about some issue existing 6,000 miles away, no matter how quite justifiably upset they are about that issue, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. No?
Well, yeah, I get your point, but I guess, you can't, if they've got the right to protest, they can, is it fair that the people of Melbourne are the only ones that have to put up with it,
What are the people of Melbourne?
Well,
You
they're all
mean
the-
people who live in the CBD?
Yeah, like people that want to drive from one side of the city to the other on a Saturday afternoon, and the Palestinians are marching through the middle of it.
fair, but you've got to have some sort of agreed upon forum where protest is allowed to take place.
Yeah, what they need to do is they need to step back and go, right, this has got out of hand now. This is just causing civil disruption. It's gone beyond peaceful protest.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the protesting isn't really leading anywhere. So why don't we? That's just my suggestion. We have a permit system. You can protest. You can protest in, say, a park. You're allowed to within the confines because they were able to hem us into into an intersection in Melbourne. So there's no reason why they couldn't just get a big park and say, right, as long as you stay within the boundary of this park, you can wave your flags, you can get your megaphones, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You've got 2 hours. Go for your life. Knock yourselves fucking out. And then get the fuck out of here and give the park back to people who want to enjoy it. And the next day, the other group of people, you do the same thing.
Okay.
I think they get pretty bored of protesting pretty fast if they didn't have the chance to agitate one another.
Yeah, well, that's a really good point.
That's my theory.
That's a really good point. They enjoy the interaction, but then again, you say a park, like you're not as offended as I am that they're doing it at Bondi Beach.
Well, of course I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. 100%. I just said it's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
Well,
And
but it's an Australian iconic place. It represents it more than anywhere else. Represents what Australian culture maybe used to be, or maybe we aspired for it to be. Whether we all lived the beach lifestyle or not, nonetheless, we all had that as a sort of a common place that represented us.
Well, like I say, I just feel for the surfer that had to walk through the middle of that shit to get to the water. Imagine that, you're just going down for a surf and you've got to go through all that crap.
Okay, we've got another video here. Do you want to see
Okay.
this one?
Well, there wasn't much violence, so that's good.
One Australian flag.
There's not one Australian, that is true. No Australian flags. And look at the Jewish community out in force, full of Australian flags.
In the Jewish community there. Did you pause that? Or is
I think that's a short video.
I just come down for a surf.
You
Doing
can
this shit.
take your Palestine up your home. You can take your Palestine up your home.
English.
You can take your Palestine.
Okay, and then we've got an Aboriginal flag, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Middle East. I guarantee that any Palestinian in Gaza, if you said, what's an Aboriginal, they'd be, I don't know what you're talking about.
Which side was the Aboriginal flag on?
Well, clearly it was on the Palestinian side.
Okay, I don't know if anything's clear anymore, but I'll take your point.
It was on the beach.
Your Palestine up your home. Again. Take your Palestine up your home.
So it's very limited footage of this thing, isn't it? Surf looks shit as well. It's a good day for a paddle out. But, all right, what else have we got, mate?
All right, we're going to hit stop on this little session.